Where I live has often reminded me of Oregon. I say this because every morning in the springtime the birds are chirping. It's such a happy atmosphere, and it really sets the tone for what I'm about to talk about. I've commentated on Descendants of Zombies for over a decade, and a decade for many of you is a really long time. But a decade for me seems to be very short-lived, because time passes by really quickly. So because time is of the essence and we never seem to know how much time we really truly have, we need to really respect the time that we have and really learn to value it. And that's what Descendants of Zombies has taught us, is to really value time. And to always take away a greater appreciation for the time that we have and the people that we spend our time with. I've had the honor of meeting so many wonderful people who have held a special place in their hearts for everything that I've talked about. And even with how there are so many critics out there who have often left critical comments for me to read, there is always somebody out there who loves this YouTube channel with all of their heart. And they show it every single time that they subscribe here, that they like a video, that they say something so nice and so uplifting. It gives you so much incentive to keep on moving forward and keep on creating. And that is what has made this whole experience for me so fun and so worth being here living through. I've had the honor of meeting so many incredible people and reviewing so many incredible things, like Disney Upfront just this past Tuesday. This past Tuesday, we saw characters like Kylie Cantrell, Malia Baker, and Liamani Segura be put on display in such a beautiful way. The outfits they wore were absolutely outstanding. They were truly mind-blowing, and they had never looked or seemed stronger. And this is exactly what I wanted to see happen for them. I don't know how anybody in their right minds could go out of their way to say something critical in the way of a review about this threesome, because this threesome is really on their way to achieving wonderful things and sheer greatness. And I'm just so honored to be here with all of you to experience it. One of the very first Disney Upfront videos I did the other night accumulated over 500 views, and I have all of you to thank. Over 500 plus views happened for that video because you guys were being recommended my channel. Our channel, the channel we created together, which went on to become something so special for so many wonderful people. Thank you so much for making some of my Disney Upfront videos and reviews some of the most popular on YouTube over the last 48 hours. For over 48 to 72 hours, people have been finding this YouTube channel because they've seen something special in all the videos that I would go on to create, as they have for many years and will continue to for many years to come. There's something so special about these franchises that make you feel a part of them and obviously connected to them. I feel like I've fallen down through the proverbial rabbit hole for quite some time, and to people watching this video who are really young, they're probably saying, "Hey, Jonathan Clarke, is there an actual rabbit hole in your backyard and do you actually jump down through it every day before you record a video for us and then come back and tell us about your experience?" Well, maybe not quite, but to be honest with you guys, I would love for there to be a rabbit hole in my backyard and for me to find it. I would take myself up on the opportunity to jump down through it without ever thinking about it and go on to meet so many wonderful characters in Wonderland, because there is such a vast universe of characters for us to meet. I mean, we've only seen so many of them, X number of them in the Descendants Wicked Wonderland franchise, and we are going to see even more of them, with even more storylines created, which is going to give us something to be more excited about. We also have Camp Rock 3 to look ahead to this summer, and I think Descendants, Zombies, and now Camp Rock really coming together to create a threesome that is going to be so special, that's going to leave a special place in our hearts, really is something worth living through and really experiencing, because I remember the original Descendants trilogies, the original Zombies trilogies. I remember how special Camp Rock was for the two installments we had from 2008 to 2010. They were released 2 years apart, and the thing that made Camp Rock stand out and really defined Camp Rock's legacy was this beautiful music. Songs like This Is Me, songs like I Wouldn't Change a Thing, the Jonas Brothers performances. Everything stood out about Camp Rock. No matter if you were a Camp Rock fan or not, you knew about Camp Rock. You had heard about it from afar. And so many people came from afar just to experience and really live through Camp Rock. And I know that I had the chance to grow up in a very different generation than many of you perhaps had. But I would have loved the chance to have grown up in your generation and been your guys' age to experience Descendants of Zombies for their true worth and to talk about their value. Because more often than enough, there are people on YouTube who will choose to criticize Descendants of Zombies without ever presenting it with much of a chance. The thing that I see coming from Descendants of Zombies within this new era are new cast members who have a future. And their futures are setting up to be far more brighter than perhaps ever given credit for. You know, we see them on the red carpets more often than enough now, perhaps more than we ever saw the original trilogy. The original trilogy had their fair share of exposure, but this new cast is getting its fair share of exposure beyond belief. They are appearing on the cover of People magazine. They are appearing on the People website. Entertainment Tonight are talking about them like crazy. And that's what makes this so special to be a part of. You know, when you see people that you never ever thought that would be profiled by Entertainment Tonight and People magazine being talked about, this is exactly what I wanted to see happen for them. The thing about this industry is this industry can be very unforgiving. And when the tabloids release an article about you, when they write something about you in an illustration, like in a publication like People magazine, some of these reviews can be very critical. And then people start leaving really cruel comments. And I really wanted to take that away because there have been a lot of rumors that have unnecessarily begun because of Descendants and what they're promoting and what kind of direction they're taking it in. The reality of it is nobody really knows what direction Descendants is headed in. Nobody knows what the release window is suggesting. We're pretty much just making open-minded predictions about what's going to be happening with Descendants to Zombies. And until the future becomes more clearer and that release window edges ever closer, that's all we can do is offer you predictions. Like I foresee Descendants to Zombies having release windows in 2026 and 2027, somewhere around July 18th through 19th. There have been predictions for the release window to be as early as July 12th. Although I think that's a bit early. What I can tell you is that production of promotion will begin rolling out at the end of June for Descendants to Zombies. So we can look forward to something special happening for Descendants to Zombies and coming to be of it by late June. So because the promotion is going to be happening in late June, people in early May, not even mid-May yet, are still offering predictions about what the rollout of the production value is going to look like. And that's why on social media platforms you're seeing all these different teaser trailers that are often fake, that are incorporated with AI. What makes this YouTube channel so authentic is these are original commentaries. I don't use AI. I've never used AI. I Photoshop all of my images. And I've loved Photoshopping images because it really allows you to put on display the true value and the true worth of these characters and just how beautiful they are and how forever iconic they've always been. I truly believe that even with how new, still relatively new, people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker have been, they are well on their way to achieving legacies of being some of the greatest of all time. And because they are on their way to achieving their legacy of being some of the greatest of all time, I can't wait to be a part of their futures and to be a part of their stories, like you guys have allowed me to be. I never imagined that I would have had the chance to become a part of your story and share my opinions on fairy tale characters like Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland and just reflect back on how beautiful their stories actually were for over 75 to 100 years. Some of Disney's characters are over a century old. And I've taken great pride in reviewing these characters and putting them on display in sort of my own showcase for everybody to see. An art gallery, if you would, for everybody to walk through. And you guys have really helped me construct that art gallery and put that art gallery out there. And while these videos may not be for everybody, I know there are people who have come from afar, people who have watched me from years past, who have returned to this YouTube channel because they wanted to hear what Jonathan Clarke had to say, what Jonathan Clarke believed was going to happen next. I saw something special in these franchises, and I dedicated the rest of my life, what I had left in my life, to Descendants to Zombies, to all of you, because the love and support that I had received for Descendants to Zombies was truly uncomparable to anything that I had ever provided commentary on. Many of you may remember me as a pro wrestling podcaster years ago. Many of you had the chance to probably listen to my show years ago, and you probably remember me from how I used to interview wrestlers years ago when I was heavily involved in the wrestling industry. The thing about the wrestling industry was there were a lot of politics, a lot of things that happened backstage that I didn't really like. There were a lot of really critical reviews happening for me at the time, and as soon as I got my exit from the wrestling industry, I took it. And then I came home. I thought my career was over. I thought I had hung up the headset for the final time. There were a lot of people coming in and out of the wrestling industry to replace each other as commentators and journalists. And, there wasn't really much of an opportunity for me to be, put out there in the way that I wanted to, put my image out there the way that I wanted to. And then Descendants to Zombies just kind of randomly happened for me. One night I was sitting at home on Halloween thinking I was living the worst life ever and then thinking my life was miserable. And then I get this knock on the door, And then there's a girl there dressed up as Mal, I think it was, and she said, I heard you're a YouTuber. And I said, okay, well, this is kind of really cool. What's going on here? And then she suggests that I should make a Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel for everybody. And then I make this channel, and this channel explodes in popularity. It's incredible how this YouTube channel kind of just randomly happens for me. And so many wonderful people just came together and created something so special. You guys really came together and created something special for me and allowed me to be a part of something so special. You really allowed me the chance to be a part of a soundtrack. And I know, sometimes these videos are very different. They're obviously presented very different from other people's opinions on Descendants of Zombies. But that's what makes these videos so original, is that they're very different. And I have a different opinion to express with you about Descendants of Zombies because I have every reason to believe in their futures and feel confident about them. Liamani Segura and Kylie Control have never looked stronger. And I think because they've never looked stronger, there are a lot of people who can take away sentimental value from this franchise. There are people who have really experienced every emotion in the book. I know because I've experienced them with you. And I've seen these stars come so far in such a short amount of time. It's really hard to believe that so much has happened for Descendants of Zombies in the way that it has over the last at least 15 years. But it has. And we've all had the chance to be a part of something so incredible because of how Descendants of Zombies has affected us in so many ways. So many people feel passionate about the music. So many people feel passionate about the story, about the characters, about the outfits. There is such a fashion sense, such a feel for the music, such a presence for the story to have. There is such an overwhelming feeling to experience because of Descendants of Zombies. Every day there is somebody who subscribes here. And even when somebody leaves this channel, there is somebody who always comes back into this YouTube channel and they subscribe here. Because they really do believe in this YouTube channel with all of their heart. They've seen something special from the very beginning of this YouTube channel. And I can never seem to put into words how appreciative I am of all of you. I thought the photo shoots and the PR for Disney Upfront the other night were beautiful, and I will have more to say on that as the day progresses. I have a lot of videos that I pre-recorded for today because I'm heading out, but I just wanted to take a moment and I wanted to say thank you to all of you who have been with me from the very beginning, when you never really had to be. I just reconnected with one of my really good friends from about 20 years ago. Just last night he found my channel. And it was really, really nice to know that somebody from afar had been listening to me after all this time, and we reconnected. And just last night, I kind of changed up the YouTube channel banner for you guys. I reanimated your favorite Descendants of Zombies characters. I hope you love it. I had a lot of help with that, by the way. And, I really think that there is so much for us to look ahead to, and so much for us to be so appreciative of. The reason why I talk about how my subscriber count so much is because I could never imagine that I would have had a YouTube channel at this age that I am now, and to have been involved with it so long, and to have still been relevant to so many wonderful people. I don't know if it's ever had anything to do with my voice being associated with these franchises, or how I've been able to tell these stories and keep this franchise really alive. But it happened because I guess, so many people felt passionate about it, just as passionate as what I did, and they just all wanted to be a part of something so special. You guys haven't seen what I've done behind the scenes for Descendants of Zombies, and if you really could truly see what I've done for these franchises and how much I've sacrificed, because I've sacrificed a great deal, more than anybody ever has. Time, money, things that I never imagined that I would have ever done. And I think something like $5,000-$6,000 later, I'm sitting here with one of the greatest Descendants of Zombies YouTube channels ever created. I did it because I didn't want anything in return. All I wanted was the chance of never ever being forgotten and going down in history for being one of the greatest legends of all time. One of the greatest to ever do it. And I know that I will have a chance now more than ever before because of all of you. And you guys allowing me the chance, having allowed me the chance to be a part of your story. You guys are truly incredible, and you've often left me at a loss for words. I can never seem to put into words just how appreciative I am of all of you. Just know that you guys will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. We have so much to look ahead to in the summers of 2026 and the summers of 2027, and I would love to be a part of it with all of you. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of your story, and to have represented each and every one of you as a constant voice of Descendants of Zombies, and someone who has held a very special place in his heart for the futures of these characters, because the way I choose to see it, these character stories are far from over, no matter if people want to choose to admit to it or not. These character stories are far from over, and we are all about to be a part of something so special. From wherever you're watching this video, or from wherever you hear my voice, thank you so much for all the love and support that you've shown this YouTube channel. And thank you so much for always and forever believing in the future of my story. Because this story is going to be something truly special for us all to be a part of. Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland comes your way this summer on Disney Plus and Disney Channel, beginning with the premiere on Disney Channel, and the following night a global premiere will happen on Disney Plus, like 2 years ago with The Rise of Red. And we all have something to be very excited about. Thank you so much from wherever you're watching this video for having subscribed here and being with me ever since. And thank you so much for always believing in the passionate world of Descendants of Zombies, because I felt more than honored to be a part of it with all of you. Thank you so much for having watched these videos.